Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Turtles Impact, episode 5, and today we have David Reeves. David is another great man, father, athlete, and coach. He's a black belt under the ever growing SAS team, building his legacy and growing his community for the greatness. Bro, so who are you under exactly for SAS?
George Gurgel and I work together. I'm actually a black belt under Leonardo Dalla Costa, which is Big Brothers in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area.
Okay.
That's where I got my black belt from. I've been with George since 2014. So we've been together since 2014.
Nice. Hell yeah, bro.
Amen.
All
Amen.
right, let's go ahead and dig into the questions then. Let's dig into like your journey as a black belt and what inspired you to open your gym.
Okay.
Gym, I guess now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Multiple.
we have several schools. So I started. Let's see. I started in 1997, 97, 96, somewhere in there. Um, I just found my old blue belt certificate and just put it up on Instagram. I found it when I was cleaning out some stuff, and I got my blue belt in 2000 by Lloyd Irvin. Put my blue belt on me, and that's back when we used to do certificates for it. So I
Oh,
started training. Go ahead. What's up?
I said that's pretty crazy. The blue, like back then, they even gave certificates for blue belts. I didn't even realize that.
I don't know if they did. I know Lloyd did, but Lloyd's been a pioneer in jiu-jitsu forever. I mean, think about it. Like that dude,
Yeah,
that dude's an American-made black belt in success story, and
I,
he's got the only homegrown. That means from day one, from the kids up, the only world champions have come from his school that are here, that are homegrown in the
wow.
U.S. Yeah, man. So anyway, so my brother came home one day, kicked my butt wrestling, and he had never kicked my butt wrestling before, and I was like, all right, man, what freaking black magic is this? And he made me go up where him and Donnie Acknick, good friend of mine growing up as well, were training, and it started from there. And that was at Lloyd's, and I started my journey with him and stayed with him for years, all the way through my blue belt before I had to move for work.
Yeah. What
So,
was
yep.
what'd you have to remove for work for?
So I was opening stores. I think at the time I was opening Bed Bath and Beyonds. I don't know if you. That's back in the day when we used to build them from the ground up. So
Wow.
I would travel around and staff the locations, build them up, and turn them over. And I ended up liking. I mean, I moved my family 5 times for that, so it derailed my journey for a little bit. Hell, I mean, it took me when I left Lloyd's. I didn't train really when I was gone. That was like a 5 year not training, just working, and then I'd go into MMA schools and fight for a little bit here and there, and that's about it. So in real life, I lost 5 years of my life, and that's where when I came back, that's where I ended up with the name Fluffy. So those 5 years, I mean, I was working, man, I was pumping, and
Yeah.
when I say pumping, I mean I was working 16, 18 hours a day, not making money that you would think would go along with that, but that's back in the day. I mean, I was pumping, and I was unhealthy, probably unhappy, because I was eating so much. I got so fat. I got up to 260 pounds.
Oof.
So when I ended up back in the city, back in Virginia, in Alexandria, um, Dala, who I went back to, called me Fluffy. He was like, "My friend, you are not fat. You are just so fluffy." So it stuck, and from 260 to fighting at 55,
It's
that's where it went, bro.
yeah, bro. I mean, I've forever since I've known you, you've been fluffy. I'm
Uh,
kind of curious of where it came from.
yeah, you can't. I tell people all the time, man. Like you can't pick your names. Like I
Nope.
was fighting. I was fighting like chiseled, and still kept the name Fluffy. It didn't matter. Uh, I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of funny, but it's always a reminder to me, um, how easy it is to let the world and the excuses bury you, right? And I kept that name on purpose. I mean, I could have told people don't call me Fluffy, whatever, but
Sure.
at this point, my students don't know that I have a real name, and it's
Yeah.
weird. It's weird. I have to tell people that my mom didn't name me frickin' Fluffy. My mother's never called me Fluffy in her life. My wife won't call me Fluffy. Like it's just not that's not my name. But man, it helps me remember, right? So whenever I'm talking or talking somebody down or talking somebody up, depending on what the conversation looks like, I like to use that as an example. Because for the longest time, dude, I thought I was gonna die that fat, man.
Yep.
Like really. And my brother ended up, my older brother ended up passing away, and his was from. I mean, we could say what we want to say. Like, it was obesity. He was unhappy. He ate himself to. He survived COVID being that big. He died at 600 pounds, man, and he survived COVID, survived the respirators, and didn't change his life. And you know,
Yep.
God gave him that chance, right? And something he
Yeah.
wrote to me in the hospital. He wrote something. He couldn't talk because of the ventilator, so he texted. And I saved all the texts, and one of the texts was, "I'm going to be different when I come out. This is it. I want to see. I want to see my family. I want to watch my daughter grow." And he didn't make that change, right? So, yeah, that Fluffy name resonates with me, homie. Like it reminds me of where you can be and the choices that can bury you. So,
Yeah.
but that's my bring us back a little bit. That's my black belt journey, right? So I stayed doing it. I stayed doing jujitsu. A black belt's just a white belt that never quit, right?
Hmm.
11 major surgeries. I mean, I've broke shit. Um, I mean, I've been told I have a a tear in my carotid artery, and they found an aneurysm that sits right above the carotid artery. We found that about 5 years ago. I was told I'll never roll again. I was told never to compete again. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago in my journey, I took on this journey to compete again, right? But not just to compete. So like my brother that passed, I was having a hard time getting through that. Having a hard time, right? I mean, that was my best friend, right? So is what it is. But that was my guy. Like so, I was having a hard time, and something he always wanted was to be a world champion. So I started competing, and I started competing. Like if you see any of the videos or you watch anything, you'll always see me wearing a big J.
How old were you when you first started going really hard into the competing?
Really hard competing. I mean, 19,
Nice.
19, 20 years old. Yeah. I took fourth in Sambo nationals, and,
Oh,
and,
oh,
that was back before jiu-jitsu was like super popular.
yeah.
It's right as the UFC one was going, but Sambo, Lloyd was the Sambo coach. So like we were doing leg locks before people could spell leg locks, but that was way back. That was way back in the day. But I mean, I fought all the way until my last pro fight. I was 40.
Okay.
So, I mean, I fought for a long time, like did some damage to my body, right? I only did that. I mean, I was never going to the UFC at that point, right? Like those days were long gone, but it was more for me,
Hmm.
always fight for the right reasons, right?
Yeah.
And that's brings me into that, coming back to competing. Like I had pretty much retired from jujitsu. It's like, all right, whatever, um, win or lose. I wasn't going to spend a lot of time doing it. I just didn't want to spend a lot of time in that. I was running schools. I'm working a full time job. I was The full time job I was working was actually building a business, building a process for a very large software or fintech company. So I mean, it was taking a lot of time, and I was just like, man, screw it. Like you got more Certa, hour, and Certa turtle. So I say that a lot: more Certa, hour, and Certa. Your death
Okay.
is most definitely certain, but the time's not. The time's uncertain. So how are you going to live your freaking life, right? So that's when I took this stab, man, and just said, screw it. Like I'm going all in. I'm going to put my brother on a podium. So those big J rash guards, like that's why I was wearing those out there, and that's why I've been carrying them with me. And I put them on a bunch of podiums, and
Yeah.
in the first year in 22, I ruptured my damn Achilles in Atlanta in Absolute against Chico Mendez. It was a great day for me. Like I had won 3 matches through that Absolute, all big boys, and I get to Chico Mendez. He's the ultra heavyweight, and I
Mhm.
posted the video because I found it, but I stepped Stepped back a little bit, popped my Achilles, um, had a
Yeah.
surgery. The surgery was botched. It ruptured while I was still in the cast. We had to wait for 4 months, go back and get another surgery. So I didn't walk for a total of 18 months. And then I came back heavy, right? And went right back at it, man. So in 23, I actually competed in 3 different weight classes, starting with medium heavy because I had to work my way down.
Wow.
Yeah. So 38 tournaments in 2023. I did 38 tournaments. We hit 3 countries. Um,
There's a lot of
you
pro
know,
events.
what's that?
Where there's a lot of pro events.
They were all IBJJF,
Okay.
every one of them. So placed at Euros, took second at Euros,
Nice.
um, placed at Pans, took third in Pans, um, won, whatever, a bunch, but ended up, I beat some guys that I shouldn't beat. I got some viral videos that are pretty funny from that. So I mean, I've got some war stories from it, but ended up placing ninth overall, and ninth overall in absolute, ninth overall in all weights for no-gi, number one middleweight, for master four middle. So and middle, I didn't want to fiddle around with weight, so I was walking at like about 22 pounds under from middle. I just didn't want to cut weight. So I'd walk in and go to weigh in, and the damn counter people are always saying the same thing. Like, man, you're in the wrong weight class. I'm like, and I'm pointing behind me at dudes in trash bags cutting weight. And I'm like, nah, bro, he's in the wrong weight class. I'm sitting here eating gummy bears and drinking water. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Hell
So
yeah.
yeah, so it was an exciting year. We took January off. This is the first time we haven't competed in a month. Me and Elena,
Yeah.
we haven't competed at all through January at all. So it's like we're chomping right now. Like
Yeah.
I'm starting to get back into the train. We're going back into Pans. So we go to Pans in March in
Is
the
that no
gi.
gi? Or is that gi? Okay.
That's gi. Yeah, we're gonna do both. We're gonna do both majors for gi and both majors for no gi.
Nice.
We might throw some stuff out there depending on who's going. Like if we have some teammates going, we might go with them. But honestly, man, those 38 tournaments.
Yeah.
I sponsor myself, and we work with BJJ Combat Gear,
Oh, nice.
and those boys help us out too. But that's it. And so we bought an RV, and my daughter went homeschool just so we could pop the puppies in the RV and take off. But
There
bro,
you
let me tell you something. You ain't driving to freaking Rome. We had to fly to
go.
that thing. That was pricey.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
How
Is
about
Elena still fighting like in the cage? Does she still?
not in the cage? She's actually the number 2 female, master 1 female. She finished up number 2 in the world.
Huh?
She finished up number 2 overall number 2.
That's
And
in her
then
belt,
what's that?
in her belt rank. She's brown now.
No, she's Masters 1 black.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow. I guess I've been behind on the times here.
Yeah, dude,
Nice.
she's a freaking killer.
That's
So
awesome.
I mean, the more we compete, the better we get, man. Like that's
Absolutely.
just the way it works. Remember what I said? Like white belt, you hear it all the time, but a white belt that doesn't quit becomes a black belt, right? Well, when you become a black belt, there's different levels to this shit.
Yeah. Become
There's
another
different
white belt.
levels.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man. Like I see it all the time. That's why I think that's how we ended up hooking up here because I like Ian. You had Ian on your show. I like Ian. And the
Dude.
reason I like him is he competes. Um,
Yes. He's a
and
big believer in showing that it like the whole he mentioned he made this comment about like the like if people that can't do teach, he believes that it's the opposite. Like you should be able to do and teach in
yeah,
order
man.
to be a great teacher, which I
Well,
fully believe too. Like
there's a lot of guys out here, bro. Let's be real. There's a lot of guys out here that are scared. I had this conversation just a couple of days ago. Here's the reason they're scared is they got that black belt, however they got it. Maybe I'm gonna benefit to the doubt they earned it. Okay, benefit to the boom, they earned it.
yeah,
Now they're scared they're scared that they're going to get exposed. Exposed to what? Like, did you earn it? If you earned it, pull up your big boy pants and go compete. Lead from the front, right? That doesn't mean, like, listen, man, like you got we talk. I'll pick on George for a second. Dude's got two new knees again. His second double knee replacement.
Damn.
And he tried to sign up he was going to do a super fight. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, just knock it off. You can't even walk right now. Let's just calm down. And that's a different story. But then you got guys out here that are just shook.
Yeah.
They're just scared to lose. Man, what life is it to live when you're scared to lose at life?
Yep.
So did you really earn your black belt? I mean, because at that point I'm going, nah, man, you should give that shit back, because all those people that believe in you, how can they listen? If you lose and people don't like you because you lost, they didn't like you when you were winning.
Exactly.
And if you live your life for that dumb shit, are you really living? More certa, hour and certa, right? Like, what do you want to go out doing, man? Like, that's what I say about that stupid aneurysm thing. Like, bro, it goes. Like, what do you want me to do? You want me to wait around for it to go?
Yep.
Or you want me to go out doing the shit I want to go out doing?
Yeah. Go out in your own cause, man. Like, it's your fucking life,
Yeah, man. So yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for some of the black belts that won't compete because of the fear. I really do. Like, I feel like, man, you earned your belt, man. I mean, if you bought it, like, I'm not trying to throw that out there. Like, a lot of people, but there are people that buy their belts, right? Like, it, I know it. We've had to break partnerships with folks because they do that weird shit, or George and I have been approached to sell belts, to sell lineage. So, I mean, that is real.
Yeah.
That is real. That does happen.
Yep.
It does happen. So let's be honest about that. But I'm going to give benefit to the doubt and just say people are just scared to fail, man. Well, what are you doing? Like, do you do that in your regular life? Is that why you're not where you want to be?
Yep.
Is that why you're not, putting your best foot forward because you're scared to walk?
Do you think maybe some of them are like that imposter syndrome that people talk about? Like, they don't even have confidence in their own game to be able to go up to that rank. And then it just puts so much fear.
Yeah, I think the imposter syndrome, I think, is a driver for us all, though. I think so. I'm
a victim, right?
Yep. I like that thought that you're bringing. So imposter syndrome, we did, Elena and I had this conversation. It's like, when does that go away?
Mm-hmm.
Man, there are different levels to this shit. Like, I'll tell you what, man, I walked into a finals match against Batista Pinto. And that dude threw me in the air. While I was in the air, caught a Kimura.
Oh, shit.
While I was in the air, I was still flying.
Dude.
I laughed. I was looking at my buddy Ed, who was kind of standing right to the like the edge of the barricade, right? And I made weird eye contact with him, and I started laughing. The guy caught me in the air and looked at me and let me tap. I was just like, tap. So he didn't even rip the damn thing off, dude. It was the funniest shit. There is
like, what's about to happen.
Bro, I told one of my classes the other day, like, I have lost more matches than they have ever and probably will ever compete in.
Yeah.
Like, lost. You're going to be the hammer. You're going to be the nail. The goal is to be the hammer more times than the nail, right?
Yeah.
And to edge those, like, set your goals attainable and go get them. But man, every year you show up and keep going, you get better. Like, I'm an example of that, man. Like, I beat people that I shouldn't beat. Like, I beat names, and I hung with names that might have beat me by a ref's decision.
Yeah.
I might have got beat 4 times this year by suspect calls, but that's on me. Like, I let it go to the ref's decision. It's home court advantage when you're fighting the IBJJF, bro. You got to be careful what world champ. And in my division, everybody's a freaking world champion. I didn't even know there could be this many world champions.
What weight are you at right now?
So I do 168 in the gi, and then I do 175.6 in the and no gi. Yeah, I walk at like 162, 163.
All right. Yeah, your brackets are usually pretty decent sized, aren't they?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for pans, I think I have 22 in pans already. And it's
Yeah.
like when you go if you're ever bored, like just go look at my pans division and it's like in order, it's like three world champions right off the rip. And then Mark Vivas, who is arguably probably one of the best black belts in M4 in history. Like I would mark him as one of the best ever to do it, to ever play the game.
Yeah.
And now that doesn't mean that he's won multiple world championships. That's not. He's one of the best to ever do this game. And
Dang.
he dropped to a 68. I was like, well, son of a bitch. Like
Oh,
that thing is, yeah, that bracket's
make your heart
stacked
sink
right
a little
now.
bit. Yeah.
Well, it's like, bro, you're not supposed to cut weight. Get back up there. Like,
Oh wait.
don't come down here. But no, man, there's some killers, and like every time I show up, even if it's two or three guys, they're always like Leandro Massaro, like Fabricio Majeros, Claudio Souza, like some of the guys that I have fought in 23 are just unbelievable to our sport. So
Man. Hell yeah, bro. Well, shit. I mean, it's like you're getting there too, bro. It's just all these surgeries.
yeah, no, this I didn't have any surgeries this year. I'm in. I go to PT 2 days a week right now. So needling and I'm not doing any more surgeries. So I have five tears in the right shoulder. I tore my meniscus. My Achilles is still giving me problems. I was hospitalized after Euros for a full blockage. So I'm working through that on my back. So January's been was a good time to recover because I competed 2 times in December, right?
Okay.
So January's been good to recover, and I'll get back at it in March. But I'll use February to camp it up. This will be my first. This will be my first major ever that I've actually done camp for.
Okay. Dope. How long are you doing camp for this one?
Well, I mean, I started a couple weeks ago, so I'll have all of February, January, and 2 weeks into March.
Dope. Fill me in on like your routine on this. Do you have like weightlifting or strength and conditioning, or is it just a lot of rolling and drilling? Or
So, you know, I'm going to go with as a masters athlete, I do things different now that I wish I would have known. I tell people like when you hit your 40s, like there's always a time where you realize you hit your 40s. There's always something. My moment was 42. I had this talk with one of my students, a good older competitor, John. And I told him, I was like, 42 was the year that shit just started falling apart. But the reason it started falling apart at 42 is I was still acting like I was that fighter that was fighting professional MMA at 40.
so you just
So
nothing hurt you kind of thing.
yeah, and I just kept training that way like a dumbass athlete
Yeah.
instead of being smart, instead of mobility training. That's why I have physical therapy twice a week. It's literally mobility. It's literally targeting my shoulders, targeting my gait, my mobility, my strength in core positions. Like I don't do anything that's not jujitsu related right now. There's not a single exercise I do that's not jujitsu related, right? So
Yeah.
I changed the way that I approach. I also changed my diet. I don't diet. So when I say diet, I don't diet at all. I eat right, and that's it. I have
Yeah,
a
clean, right? That's kind of
yeah,
how.
well, clean, but let's be real. Like I've heard you talk about it before. Like I have diverticulosis, so and I've had 11 inches of my intestines removed, 4 inches of my colon, blah blah blah. Right, so I had to start eating correctly. No gluten. So gluten. It's either eat correctly or take 75 pills. You decide what you want. And I'm not a pill guy.
Hey, same.
So
Nope.
so I don't eat gluten. I'm not a vegetarian, but I eat vegetables. But I'm not a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Um, I eat meat now because I can't eat gluten. I don't eat fried meat. So I don't eat fried chicken. I don't eat things that were so good, right? I can't eat pizza. There's certain things that you have to cut out now. But think about it now. As soon as I did that, my weight just
Shot down.
pummeled. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't drink beer.
Muscle mass and everything, like your strength. Do you feel like that went down too?
No, even at the so I wouldn't I wouldn't be competing in the 60s if I thought I lost something. Or better yet, no, strike that. I wouldn't be doing middleweight at 75.6. Remember what I said? Like I'm mass under that weight class.
But you're
But
strong as fuck. Like you feel good.
yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
lose anything. And I think when you deplete your body, especially the older, I think there's a gauge that we don't measure enough, and that gauge is as you get older, you need more to push the same way, right? So I have I have certain supplements I take. I had somebody ask me the other day, and by supplements I don't mean inject everything into your body.
Yeah.
Everybody always wants to know what I'm injecting into my body, and it's like, bro, like I get
It's
it, like
powder, right? Yeah.
yeah, well, we don't freaking test at this level, but like injecting stuff into your body isn't the way to do it, right?
No.
Uh,
Yeah.
I take multivitamins, I take fish oil, I take calcium and magnesium I need for my body. I get my
Mhm.
blood work done every 6 weeks because of the aneurysm. So then I match my vitamin intake to whatever
Yeah.
I'm deficient in. And I live in the state of Ohio, so vitamin D, you're mass crashing on vitamin D all the time here. So
Mhm.
I'm taking vitamin K and D to combine to absorb the vitamin D, blah, blah, blah. So I changed. Your original question was like, what's that look like for me? Man, I don't roll as much as I used to live rounds. Um, I used to go in to actually, I've rolled with you doing the same thing that I was always doing, which is go in on the weekend and try to get 10 to 15 rounds in a row.
Okay.
So do the math on that, right? So you're telling me that over 40, I'm rolling 60 to 75 minutes straight.
That's
It's not
just
healthy.
you're just
That
drilling through the week?
that was on Sundays before. Now I've cut that back. Now
Oh shit.
I'm drilling 4 days a week. And I'll roll on Monday and Wednesday nights. I'll roll. I'll pick my rounds.
Mhm.
I don't typically go with like the big giant guys. Um,
Yeah, of
but I also won't. I stay high level belts. Like I'll try to find the higher belt guys for me right now.
course.
And
You're a black.
then
You got to.
yeah, otherwise you might get spazzed out, get kneed in the face. Now I'll work with some of those guys, but I
Yeah.
have a couple. I have a couple folks that drill with me at 6 a.m. 2 days a week, and then
Yeah.
everything else is at night. And then I do my hard stuff on Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, so I stay every day. I'm doing something for this tournament season.
It's awesome. Fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Seems like
man.
it's been going on track then.
We'll see. We'll see how
Yeah.
this year pans out. Like it's not going to be for lack of trying.
Yeah, for real though, for real.
Yeah, man.
All right, bro. So I guess the next question: how has your experience as a competitor influenced your teaching and coaching style?
Um, so not everybody's a competitor.
Yep.
And when you're teaching, you have to remember that, right?
Hmm.
Now, the good thing about being a competitor, or having even this year competed so much, is I'm able to streamline the techniques for what's real versus what we think is real. Like if you go on YouTube, you see a bunch of fancy stuff, but if you can't open my guard, you'll never get to see
Black
how fancy
belts,
that
YouTube
is.
black belts.
Yeah. But
Yep.
I mean that's the way it works, right? Like if you can't open my guard, why are you learning how to submit me? You're never going to get the chance.
Hmm.
So it's changed the way that I kind of approach that and explain the philosophies. I take my time on the philosophies a little bit more than I have in the past, because I understand and see them in competition. I know what works, I know what doesn't,
Yeah.
and I've seen what works and seen what doesn't. And yeah, I mean, when you look at some of these high level guys that are out here competing, what are they winning off of? They're winning off of guard passing,
Lifting.
Toriano passing,
Yep.
good standing passing. They're working on fundamental jujitsu. They're working off of triangles and arm bars and back takes, and that's it. Like they're not doing fancy half moon undercut, jumping guard. This like they're out here winning with basics in jujitsu. And
Hmm.
I'd like to see that continue for me to transition as I see more to be able to teach more. Um, and also all this traveling, I've made a lot of friends in the community. So I've got to train with a lot of different black belts and a lot of different schools. And I've been watching and learning from their styles as well, which is different.
Yeah. So that's kind of how you kind of stay up to date with all the new techniques and stuff like that with the jiu-jitsu. But you're
I
still
think
trying
so.
staying old school with it, right?
Well, I mean, you have your style, right? Your style. Everybody's got their own style. You have your own swag, right? I'm not you and I aren't the same athlete. Your
Mhm.
flexibility might be different. I might be recovering from an injury or this. So what I'm going to do is going to be different. I'm always going to go back to where my safe spaces are, or where I feel confident, right?
Yep.
So what I've been trying to do, for instance, is I wasn't a guard player. I'm a smash and pass.
Mhm.
So for a year and a half, as the Achilles, as I was getting used to it, since I couldn't stand, I just played guard
Yep.
every day, every round. So you change your dynamic of your game to match that style or your weakness, right?
Mhm.
The what was it, 6 a.m. on Tuesday, all I did was have people side cross control, like let them have cross control. And then all I did for an hour was work to recover, work to get up. I'm tailoring to my weaknesses, places I don't like to be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tailor to stuff that I like.
Mhm. I
I want to
remember
be better.
you
Go ahead.
used
I'm
to do
sorry.
a lot of like ADCC kind of um I guess rounds more or less. Like you'd have them start in a certain position and then you
Yeah.
go from there, kind of thing.
Yeah. For me, it's even more so specific on what I suck at. Um, like that imposter syndrome you spoke of earlier. Like I just want to be really good.
Yeah.
And in order to be really good, I have to be transparent with myself, my students, and put myself in places that I don't want to be and work from there to be really good.
Yeah.
Some people will talk about it, right?
Yeah.
And some people will be about it. You have to decide what you want to do, right? And so I specifically picked the worst for me. And one of the worst for me was Majeros getting on my side mount um, last year, at some point early last year, and me not being able to budge his big hefty ass off of me for 3.5 minutes while he just racked up scoring on me.
Yeah.
Um, so that's what's going through my head as I train for pans, is not being stuck in these positions.
Yeah. That's good. Hell yeah.
Amen.
I love that, bro. I'm excited to get back to all the training. I miss it, bro. I miss it so much. So
Oh yeah.
what challenges did you face starting your gyms and how did you overcome them?
So the business. So when we started, we left Middletown to go to Westchester. So we opened in Westchester. Um, that's a high end area, so it's very expensive to be in Westchester itself. So memberships have to match the area, right?
Hmm.
So that was a little bit of a challenge because I had to figure out how to dollar those out to where we could be able to afford, high end rents, the taxes in that area, the county taxes, and then overall survive as well. We have 22 employees, right? So I need
Yeah.
to make sure everybody's getting paid. We pay all of our instructors. I have to make sure we're able to compensate them. So that was the biggest challenge there, was matching the product to the pricing, right, and make sure that we had enough offering.
Yep.
So right now we offer 88 classes a month
Wow.
at Westchester. So
Just West alone?
just Westchester. So it's difficult not to find something, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, we've been doing this together since 2017 is when we opened Westchester. So we've been on this since 2017. We've taken George is the president of Ohio MMA, and that's what we are, is Ohio MMA. Us as JGMMA. JGMMA is just one of the businesses that we own. It is our most recognized business is JGMMA, right? So uh, that's George Gagel's Martial Arts Center, right? So George is our president, and we have grown within that business. We've gone from a $40,000 business to um, a very nice business at this point,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we'll continue to
SAS
grow.
alone is growing pretty decent, it seems like.
What's that?
SAS alone seems like it's growing pretty damn decent. Seems like it's gonna
Yeah, I
be a
mean,
go.
there's some good schools out there. I mean, we're not the same as Pedigo, because Pedigo goes into like existing schools that don't have somebody like
Sure.
picks
Yeah.
them up. We're not that. So like we're working on some different models to get people schools, not following the Gracie Baja model, but something a little bit different. Like we grow our black belts. We want to make sure those that want schools that we're able to help them do that, and that we're able to make it something financially rewarding for everybody to be able to do that. And that's tough to find people that are like minded. Surround yourself with that. There's some great leaders in the sauce team though. Like if you think about outside of our little area, like Rob Nickerson for Reaction MMA. He's got what, 3, 4 world champions this year
Yeah.
out of that little school in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Now that little school is not going to be little anymore. He's building a brand new spot there. It's going to be massive, right? That's a huge opportunity for him. And Rob and I work together a lot on the business end, which is something that I've most recently just left my real job. And it's something I'm working on now. Is like I had to start thinking, man, like I really don't want to make millionaires more millions. That's not what I want to do anymore. So I don't want to continue to work for other people to make them more money. Instead, I want to do what I'm good at, which is helping run businesses, helping create
what you're passionate about, growing people in general, right?
Yep. So, I mean, you got to go where people always say you're not working if you enjoy what you're doing. Well, listen, man, we got to make money.
Yeah.
You got to make money. Like you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Well, you're full of shit if you say you don't want to make money. You have to make money.
Yep.
A brother's got to eat, right? So the way I look at it is, I want to do something I want to do. So I've got a partnership with the CRM right now. We're working through, and we'll be continuing. You'll see some big changes happening with JGMMA. They've already started to happen with a change in our back office operations, and you'll be watching some pretty. I don't want to give too much of it out of the bag, but you're going to watch some pretty big industry changing movements that we're doing. That I'm really excited about, and we'll be the first jiu-jitsu school doing some of these things, and it's very exciting. It'll be very exciting to see how we continue to grow. And I'm also doing consult on the side now. I don't think that's going to be on the side anymore. I think what I'll be doing is consulting, not just jiu-jitsu schools. I've got some other clients now that want to work with me, but it's got to be like-minded, man. I got to want to work with the person. If I don't want to work with them, I'm out. Like it's not going to be good for anybody. I've been working with a smoothie company. It's like, it's funny. Yeah. Water,
it's a little different.
A water company, several different combative schools. So, I mean, I don't know.
To help them grow, or is this how so?
Well, I mean, think about what we do, right? So we're a sub-based business. That's what jiu-jitsu schools are. They have subscriptions, and in our industry,
that's like the most lucrative thing nowadays is subscription businesses. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, everything is not everything, but businesses that are growing are subscription based, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at how jiu-jitsu schools in general are run, like you got a black belt in there that's never run a business before, doesn't understand how a business runs. And hides behind the fact that, no, I don't want to do it that way, or we used to always do. Man, that's not the way it works. Or they don't grow with the way business is done today versus the way it was done before. And I've got tons of studies to show why we're successful doing certain marketing or certain advertising or certain demographics versus others, right? And I don't want to share too much, but because I'd be giving that business away. But it's even as far as coming down to this. Let's talk about this one: a free trial versus a paid trial, right? Mm-hmm. So, 5-day free trial. We run a 5-day free trial forever. And this year I pulled the 5-day free trial, and we do a paid trial. And the question being, why would you do a paid trial? Well, man, the free trials were not attracting what we wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't bringing, it's not about money. It's not about it's not about creating a paid trial so that you can make some extra dough. Man, that's not what it is. Mm-hmm. What it is to make sure you have skin in the game when you come in. It's the same reason that subscription-based businesses survive. You have to have skin in the game. If you don't have skin in the game, you don't continue to come in. And if you truly want to change the world, right? And so that's what George and I, our mission has been since day one of our partnership, is jiu-jitsu saved my life. Jiu-jitsu saved his life. let's do that for others.
Mm.
Man, you're fooling yourself if you take cash from somebody for 2 months and tell me you changed their life. You didn't do shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll tell people flat out, like, you're making a commitment to me, at least a minimum of 12 months. You're going to make a commitment to me. You want to change your life or fix stuff, you got to give me a year of your life. And you want to bring your kid in, let me tell you something. Don't sign an agreement with us if you're not willing to bring your kid in, because kids change their mind all the time. If you want little Billy to be different, to walk different, to act different, to be different when he shows up at school and the way he treats you and other adults, then you keep little Billy's ass with me for a year and I'll humble his little ass out for you. And it's a community that will build him. It's a community that won't let him be broke down by the inferior toxicity killing culture that we have today, right? So
Yeah,
it boils down to running a business like a business. And in my day, total, like, honestly, jujitsu schools or MMA schools, they were run like freaking a Tinder. They were run like Tinder.
yeah.
They were dating sites, or they were testosterone factories, right? And
Absolutely.
what do I mean by that? And hopefully your audience understands, but you're not there to bang your students. And if
Mm.
you are, you're in the wrong business. You're gonna, I've got some analogies I could tell you, but probably not on the show. But I'll tell you what I tell my coaches all the time.
Yep.
Or you get in there to whoop somebody's ass. What are you proving?
Hmm.
Why are you whooping somebody's ass?
Doing practice. Doing
Yeah,
practice.
like what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, so what do you want to do in your business, right? And then instead of going about things the way you've always done it, are you willing to be humble enough to go, nah, man, I need some help. Nah, man, I want to talk this through.
Yeah.
For instance, for me, after Pans, I'll be putting together I'll use the word summit, but you and I know summits is jujitsu based, but I'll be putting together a business summit for combat schools specifically, right?
Okay.
I've got Thai academies, some jiu-jitsu schools or whatever that are interested. And what I'll end up doing is charging folks to come in. I'll have some speakers there and I'll walk through and do some teaching and education on how to run your business.
Hmm.
Who's willing to come?
Yeah.
Like, what folks are going to show? What folks are willing to not just put their money where their mouth is, right? But it's not the money that's going to bother these guys from coming in. It's the fact that they think they're failing. It's the
Oh,
same folks that don't compete.
yep.
It's the same thing. They're afraid to show that they're failing. Why not get in a room full of like-minded individuals that can talk through their problems and find a way to win?
Yeah. Ian was saying that too. He was saying that you put yourself in a room full of millionaires or champions. Put you five champions, you're six. But if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to humble yourself to actually accept their help or even their insight on them being better than you or what you're doing, then you're not getting anywhere. Like you're gonna be that guy that thinks his cup's full all the time, and every time someone tries to pour into it, it's gonna overflow because you're not accepting their knowledge. You know?
Yep,
Yeah.
100%.
That's crazy, man. I mean, that's how the world is, and with like all these jiu-jitsu schools and stuff like that, the newer ones coming up and coming out, and like even just like personal trainers and stuff like that, just getting. He was Ian even mentioned about like the CrossFit thing. A lot of the bad rep that it's gotten because of all the people that literally go for a weekend 8-hour course and then come out thinking they know it all, and then they start their own little CrossFit box and then start injuring people, which is the same thing with jiu-jitsu artists. Like I mean, okay, granted, there are some decent blue belts that started their academies, whatever, but like some people are just like they're not meant for that aspect until they get to a higher level in a room full of people that are willing to kick their ass, you know, or the
Yep.
people, the black belts that are too scared to go into competition or even roll and stuff like that to kind of prove themselves, or they get this egotistical thought like, oh, I don't have to prove myself, but then in fact they really do because they're just scared, you know.
Yep. I mean, there ain't no such things as halfway crooks, right? If you're scared to death, you're scared to look, you're shook.
Yep.
So that's how business is to me, right? I told George the other day, scared money never made money, right? I'm sure you've heard that before.
Hmm.
I like song lyrics, by the way,
Yeah.
because they resonate to me a little bit deeper. But
Yep.
um, I'll tell you, like, if you're not willing to, like this year, we had a huge year in 23 from the business standpoint. And for the last 2 months, I have been brutalizing us. Like everything that we've ever done wrong, every process I want fixed, every single thing that we're going to fix. And yeah, I know one of my general managers and George, I know they've been like, man, like the hell, like are we doing bad, man? Like don't rest on what you did. Don't rest on your past. Where do you want to be? Like where do you want to be? And if you're going to do this, you need to set the bar. You need to be that bar, not meet the bar.
Yep.
F an expectation. I want to be the expectation of everybody. So I've been scrutinizing every single process that I set. And by the way, those processes are ones I set. And
Lead by example, exceeding those examples.
yeah, I'm picking my own crap apart. And
Yeah.
I know I'm worrying everybody. It's like, no, like, listen, like I've got records that I want to see us set this year. We've got folks that are counting on us to expand in locations. We've got folks that are counting on us to open new locations. And the world's not free. And we're still finding, interesting enough, we're still finding enough time and energy to sponsor athletes, to scholarship out those in need, right? So we've got a couple kids that we're able to work that out with, right? That might otherwise not be able to afford. We've got a ton of work that we're doing with veterans. We find ways to do all of these things while we're out here, like shoveling, trying to make money.
Showing, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Bro, that's a lot. A lot of people don't get that. Like they think they can just go do jujitsu and train and teach, coach, whatever, and just live their life. But I mean, a lot, like you were saying, a lot of people will have the jujitsu part in their mind, but they don't have the business,
Yeah.
or even the community part.
Yeah,
You know,
it's surround yourself with really good people, like-minded folks. I agree with Ian. My team that I work with are good. They're good. I've got great coaches that I work with.
yeah.
I've got great staff that we've built from the ground up, and we've got the right team in place to see 2024 be a record for Ohio MMA.
Hell yeah, bro. So how do you keep your students in the same mindset? Do you give your speeches? Do you have rituals? Do you have like aftermath exercises?
Um, Depends on how I'm feeling. I know George is the same way. Like I probably spoke more than usual this past Saturday during an MMA class.
Yeah.
Um, I don't possess empathy as much as I used to anymore when it comes to excuses on the mat. Right? I don't own that. It doesn't make much sense to me. Right? Like if you can't make it to the school on time because you got high, that has nothing to do with me. And don't
Mhm.
ask me to feel for you.
Yep.
Like it means nothing to me. It means you shouldn't have smoked dope. Not
Yep.
everybody should smoke dope. Like, I mean, not everybody should do it. If it's causing you not to be at work on time, shouldn't be there. But I don't know. I was sitting in an MMA class and I let the mood take me where it's going to take me. Right. And I had a bunch of guys and girls that are fighting. Right. And the world doesn't care about your feelings, Turtle. I don't know if anybody's ever told you that, but the world doesn't care. So the world doesn't care how much work you put in that school.
Mhm.
All that's going to matter is what you perform inside that cage, right? So the conversation I have with my fighters this past weekend was um, every time I've got you drilling something and I'm asking you to do reps, and every rep you take off. Every time when I'm not looking, you decide not to push. Or even if you're doing a rep, it's a half-ass rep. Every single time you do that, it gets easier to continue to do that, right? But every single one of those reps will show true in the cage when the door shuts.
Yep.
So every single time you chose to not give me everything that you had and not give your all, when the cage door shuts, Turtle, despite what they think, I don't get in the cage with them.
Yeah.
They get in there by themselves and that door shuts.
They're only
And
choosing.
now all the truth comes out. And this is what I was telling my guys this past week, man. Like the truth is right there. The
Hmm.
truth is right there. You can lie to me. You can lie to yourself. You can't lie in that cage, man. Those mats don't lie.
Nope.
So, like to what you were asking, I just let it go by the mood, right? And I had some guys that were really giving up on themselves. I pushed. We got a couple guys fighting, so I pushed. I'm not like I said, I don't possess empathy. You want to be here. Those MMA classes are not regular standard class for me. That's a class you choose at your own risk to come to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat shit for you. People are going to try to punch you in your face. They're going to hurt you. Potentially, you're going to get hurt if I don't train you right, and I'm not
Yep.
going to fail you. So
Yeah.
I will do my job. Now you will do yours, or you don't fight for me. You can go somewhere else and fight. Anybody can go fight. You know the drill.
Yeah.
But you're
Exactly.
not fighting for me if you're not training. Um, and I don't work with people I don't want to work with. Ask the
Yep.
dudes that I cut off our roster. Like
Yeah.
I don't care what show you're fighting for. I'll leave that there. I don't care what show you're fighting for because I don't need your money. But I sure as hell am going to be able to look in the mirror. And right now, the only thing that you truly have to give that's irreplaceable is your time.
Yep.
So I go by a tiers method, right? So time, energy, effort for the results, right?
Hmm.
If I give you my time, energy, and effort, I want to see the result from you. And
Yeah.
I don't measure results in victories or losses. I don't measure it that way. I measure it in you. Like what did I do for you? And if I'm giving you too much time, too much energy, and too much effort for what the result is with you, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing it because that's the one thing you can't give me back, and you can't pay me for because I don't know how much of it I've got.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, cause dude, your
So
your time's priceless, man. Like legitimately. Honestly, with me being starting and becoming the coach and online stuff, that's how exactly how I felt. Like there's I've got this mindset like I'm gonna give you what I got. I know what I can do for you. If you don't want to work with me, if you don't want to do the fucking work, that's on you. Like I'm not gonna be able, I'll text you every day. I'll be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing your workout? I'll be able to tell when you do that. I'm gonna hold you accountable for it, but I'm not gonna hold a gun to your fucking head and tell you to do it. That's
yep,
on you. And if you're not gonna do it, that's you're cheating yourself. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm not the one losing the weight. You are. Like or you're for your instance, you're not the one that's in the cage that's trying to swing or to dodge those punches, right?
yep,
Every day that you don't go in to train to drill those extra 5 times or whatever, that's on you. Like it's like I get people are like, man, they get into themselves. They're like, okay, I'm only letting this person down. No, you're letting yourself down. Like you're even your future self. Like it's all on you. And like it the world really doesn't revolve around you and doesn't give a fuck. It's all
no,
you, you know.
yep.
So
And
I love that, man. That's
in
how
this
you should.
in this day and age, it's hard to get people to. It's harder to teach people that the world doesn't revolve around them, and nobody gives a shit about your feelings.
Yeah,
That
everyone's
that
really
whole
hoping for them to save them. Like
that whole woke shit is for somebody else. That's not for this world.
that is for damn sure, dude. That is
Yeah,
for damn.
man.
All these. I think that just started out with the Generation Z or the fucking generation that got all these settlement checks and stuff like that from Biden. I think that's where this group started from. The people that don't want to work, so they tried giving themselves excuses to slack off even more. Like, are you
Yep.
kidding me, bro? Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, shit. So I'm kind of getting. Damn, we have 53 minutes, bro. It's crazy. You've been just speeding through this crap, bro. I mean, fuck, dude. I was really expecting this. I knew this was going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'm pretty easy. Talking is something we have to do all the time. So
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. I'll be honest with you. Believe it or not, I mean, I'm sure once you when you first met me, I was an introvert. I bet you could kind of tell, right? Maybe a little
yep,
bit. Yeah. So I don't talk to people. Like I actually have read a lot of books to get up to this point, and like this is my way of getting out of my comfort zone. Like this, I force myself to get out of my comfort zone in every aspects of life, from talking to people, from jiu-jitsu, from like everything. You know what I mean? So
yep.
that's what I appreciate this. Dude, let's shine some light on some of your athletes, like some of the compliments that you've kind of grown from your gym.
All right. So right now, MMA wise, Ben Sherrill, he's 4-0. He's an
Nice.
Ohio. He was a Ohio wrestler here. Um, Real good young man. He's a wrestling coach for us. Works with a lot of kids. Wants to work with kids as much as he can. And um, man, he's a good human. So
Yeah.
he's a lot of fun for me. So we're trying to get on a March card. I think we messed up, but I think we're going to get him into a late March after Pan's
Is that pro
card.
or
No, this will be Emmy. I'm gonna. The plan for him in 24 is at least. I don't need. It's not about building up the number of fights. It's the stress of the fights. So what I've been doing is picking where he goes and what he does. So I've taken him to some really bad situations. I made him fight at 55. I made him fight at 45, and then I let him do his 2 fights at 35. I mean, hell, Turtle, his first fight, I made him fight a guy that was 3-1. Um,
wow? Okay.
yeah, his next fight, a guy that was 2-2, and so forth. And his last fight, I made him fight an undefeated 35er that was 3-0 or 4-0. So I've been making him travel for it. Like, yeah, my whole goal here is to show him everything I can as an amateur. So as a pro, it doesn't phase him. So I spend a lot of time with him. He is a great student as well. So all he's doing is spending time on his hands because he's a wrestler. So we've been working on his hands and working on his jujitsu. And all he's doing is getting better and better. They got Dom Steele, UFC vet, just got featured in the UFC a couple weeks ago again. Dom's coming back. So we're looking forward to having him there. We've got, I don't know, probably 7 or 8. I don't know if Ashley Innocent is going to be fighting here soon, but I know Ashley will be back in the cage. She's an amazing athlete. And then, like I said, we've got maybe 6 to 8. I just don't know where we're going to go with that. I got rid of some folks, and then through attrition, some folks left. Fighting's just not, it's not all. It's not what the world's revolving around. The reason I spend so much time with Ben and with my other fighters is because I care about them.
Yeah.
If I didn't care about them, I would not be spending that much time with them.
Nice.
I want Ben, Ben, as long as Ben's the student Ben is, then you'll see George and I in his corner and continue to push him forward. I mean, think about it. George had 10 years in the UFC. He's not going to he had 16 athletes in the UFC at one time. Like he's not going to spend a bunch of time with folks that don't deserve it. And neither
Yeah.
am I. So,
Which is smart, man. Because like I said, nowadays it's hard to tell. Some
yep.
people are just out for themselves or just that clout.
Well, you get jiu-jitsu wise, we've got some great competitors too. Obviously, George this year had quite a few accolades to boast about, but what a number 1 black belt middleweight, a number 2 lightweight female. That's in his direct schools, right? So then you've got competitors in Ed Heltzel and Owen Reeves. Those two are killing it. They competed a bunch last year. Matt Middleton coming up on the white belt side. A lot of wrestling experience, but he is an amazing competitor as well. And then you've just got all of the new guys coming out, like the whole team out of Lebanon, out of our Lebanon school. That group, they're just killers. They're just, everybody is really coming into their own, and I'm very proud of like that Lebanon group. I'm very proud of the athletes that put it on the line from the green, the newest location, and these are all new folks in position too. So it's pretty cool to watch that. Like I talked about John, the older athlete that I was telling you about, and that guy went out and first tournament ever, won the over. He's God, I think he's just over 50, and he won the over 40 division.
Wow.
Then he won his division. Then he won the absolute over 30. The over 30 absolute, he won that. Then he took second in the over 18 absolute.
What?
Yeah, dude, all he did was sit out there and compete the whole day. And the guy he lost to, keep in mind, this is white belt, right? White belt gi shit.
Yeah.
The guy he lost to in the 18 to 30 was wearing a competition judo gi.
Oh shit.
So that's who he lost to, and he didn't get thrown, thank God, but he ended up getting he got caught in a good arm bar. The guy was good, but you look at stuff like that, man. That's the kind of shit that'll smile you up. And our kids killed it. and our kids are continuing to kill it. So I'll be excited to see where we get to next.
Hell yeah, bro. Fuck, I am too, dude. You guys are growing pretty well.
Yeah, man.
So I know you said you're totally anti-empathetic. So how do you approach the mental and emotional aspects of the jits training and competing, and then even coaching when you've got a bunch of people on the mats?
So empathy to me, it's I don't empathize with certain things, right?
Yeah.
And I can't, in context to the fact that I compete a lot, right? Well, listen, man, sometimes shit happens. You want to make excuses, or you just want to keep going. Your knees popped out. You have one more match. Do you do the match or do you quit? Like, what do you do? When I say empathize, like asking for empathy over a choice you make is not empathy.
Hmm.
That's stupid.
Yep.
Like, so when I say empathize, like I can feel for a person that gets hurt during training. My job is to not let them get hurt during training or to make that, mitigate that risk for them. Right. And as a coach, that's what I do. I mitigate risk for my athletes that I have to push hard. I have to push them hard to get them what they want. I have to push them smart. I have to make sure we drill correctly. I have to make sure we drill for the right techniques. That's where competing comes in handy, because you get a bunch of folks out there that are drilling shit that is never going to happen. And then I'm going to be drilling, passing your guard and getting past those legs. And I'm going to be drilling, beating De La Hiva, which has made a new run in jiu-jitsu again. I'm going to be
Yeah.
working on beating open guard, right? And passing open guard and different ways to pass open guard. And that's what I'm going to be teaching my athletes. And I have to stop them from getting hurt. So I have to
Yeah.
be smart about, it's not how many rounds you did, it's how good was the drilling. So I put them in situations where the heaviest lifting, so to speak, is done before they get tired. And then the other speed to memory is done towards the end of the classes. So I don't
Hmm.
allow a picture like deadlifting, right? And I know deadlifting is a bad thing, but think about deadlifts. If you deadlift at the end of your workout, you're going to be in trouble because you're going to sacrifice technique for that lift.
Yep.
You're going to. I don't care who you are. You're going to be a dumbass. You're going to lift too much and you're tired and muscles are going to give out and you're going to end up hurting yourself. Now, if you deadlift in the beginning of your workout, probably smart if you're going to be doing deadlifts, right? You
Yep.
probably shouldn't be going for your max on a squat rack at the end of your workout. Like
Yep.
that doesn't make much sense, right? Well, it's the same thing in jiu-jitsu. Like you're doing like standing guard passing, like the lifts. The lifts are powerful. They hurt. Do
Yeah.
those in the beginning before people start twinging their backs. Then
Mm.
you go into the technique once you get their backs loosened up. Like be smart about it. I make people stretch their Achilles. I have a whole Achilles protocol before we do anything. Why do you think I do that? Because I ruptured my fucking Achilles twice, right? So yeah,
Leading by example.
I'm gonna make sure these old ass dudes don't rupture their Achilles. Most people didn't even know you stretch your Achilles.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we do. Like, so I try to make sure that my classes are tailored towards not getting injured. And then when I say empathy, man, I just don't have empathy for excuses. If
Yep.
there's a difference, are you injured? Are you tired? I'm injured. Okay, what hurts?
Mm.
I hurt my knee. All right, man, let's sit down. Let's get you some ice. You're out. You're not coming back in though. Like you're out. We're done. All
Hmm.
right. Are you injured? Are you tired? I'm tired. Then get the fuck up. The world doesn't give a shit, and neither do I.
Yep.
And I have a saying, like you want to keep looking down at the floor, man. There is nothing down there for you except for broken dreams and despair, none of which are going to do a damn thing for you.
Hmm.
Like get up and move forward. That's what I mean by empathy. Injury versus being tired are two different things.
Yep. Very true.
And I can sympathize all day.
I
Empathize is not my thing.
Yep. I feel you. 110% do I feel you, bro. Like right now, I fucking off and on do I walk through the cold and the rain and stuff like that, and I hear people crying, "Oh, it's raining outside," this, that, and the other. But dude, you have this, you have that. You can still do push-ups. You can still do the sit-ups, up downs, burpees, all this stuff. There's always something to do. You know,
11 major surgeries, Turtle.
That's,
11.
that is crazy.
Um, I've been told so many times that I'm done.
Yeah.
That I'm done. Um, when I got So when we came back from Rome, when we were packing the night before we were coming back from Rome, I told Elena, I was like, man, like something's wrong with my back. Like something's not feeling right. By the time we woke up in the morning, I couldn't walk. I was hunched over. We 8 hour, 8 hour flight. A bunch of time in the airport, whatever. By the time we get home, we land on Halloween. Got to take my daughter trick or treating, so I can't move. I'm hunched over. I look like I'm in a fucking costume because I'm hunched over behind her like this. I can't walk.
Comes
And
back, what you
uh,
done?
yeah, Elena's like, hey man, we need to go to the hospital. I'm like, yeah, not yet, because I have a rule. I only go to the hospital when I'm going to die. Like that's my rule. I don't want to go back. Right. So
Negotiables. Yep.
about 1 a.m. I woke her up and I was like, hey man, got to go to the hospital like now. And by the time we got there, I just started passing out. I was in and out. Like
Ooh,
I'd be awake, I'd be out, I'd be awake. It was my first.
the
It was
pain?
really my first. What's that?
Just from the pain?
From the pain. Yeah, it was my first 10 out of 10 out of all those surgeries. And I had a compound fracture before. I've had my shoulder come through as well. I mean, I've had pain, but I've never had a 10 out of 10. It was my first one, and I was like, oh shit, like this is it.
Yeah.
And I'll share that story for a different time. But I thought that was it. But I had to check out. I had to stop them from giving me drugs because the drugs weren't doing anything. They were just making me pass out. Then I'd wake up in the same amount of pain. But I needed, in order to finish first for the year, I needed to win one more tournament.
Oh, oh shit, bro.
So I checked myself out of the hospital and drove to where were we? Nashville, Tennessee,
Oh, bro.
and I won the Nashville Open.
Fuck yeah, you
Yep.
did.
By the way, I couldn't walk either. They taped my back up so I could stand up right before I went out there. So I had that KT tape pulling me back.
Bro, I
Um,
think I remember this. I think I remember this.
I hit a duck, took him down on the duck, and kept him there. Yeah, that was the best 2 points. I actually wrote something, but my close friends knew what was going on, but
Yep.
um, I wrote something up there. That was the most important 2 points of my year. Came down to
Yeah.
that. But then it got worse because I win that, and uh, Alexandra Cavarjo signed up to do Waco, which I didn't need it, but he signed up for Waco, so I was like,
Might
fuck
as
it,
well.
I'm going to Waco. So I pissed everybody off. I flew to freaking Waco, and I submitted him
Oh, nice, dude.
for in the finals for that win. So that one was just, I didn't need that one, but I wanted that one bad. But
Yeah.
it, anyway, it was kind of a funny time. So I tell that story all the time because like, oh, I've got cramps. I can't do that. I got a cramp in my leg. I can't. My fingers broke. My thumbs broke. My this, my that. Man, listen, man. Don't make excuses either. Like if you're gonna go all in, then go all in. Like let's say I lost in Nashville, dude. That's on me. Like,
Mhm.
but see, the difference is I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I didn't go to Nashville for you or for anybody else. I went for me. And there was no doubt in my mind I was going to win. There was no doubt in my mind that I was going to finish my year the way I wanted to in Waco. There was
Yep.
no doubt in my mind. There was no excuses that were going to keep me away from that. There was no more pain that was going to stop me. And that's what I mean by empathize, man. Like when you make a choice in your life, also, like I don't want to hear if you go and you're injured and you go compete and you lose, I don't want to hear that you were underweight, overweight, too
Yep.
young, too fucking old, too injured. Did you sign the fuck up? Oh, you did? Then shut the fuck up.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like, I heard that at one of these, where were we? Naga. She's a child. Bitch, please.
Yeah.
She's 185 pounds.
You
Like
signed her
she,
ass up. Like,
yeah, she's bigger than shit. Like, don't make excuses for her because what you're gonna do is you're gonna destroy that little girl because now she thinks it's okay because she's young to fail instead of
hmm
try to get out there and win. And get this, we had a girl in the same situation. Um, she's like 160 pounds, young girl, and she has to do all the adult divisions because of her weight, and she's been getting her ass kicked. Well, guess what? She did it not at that same freaking Naga. She beat every freaking adult and won her first tournament, won her first full tournament. What if every time she got off the mat, I said, hey, it's okay because you're a baby. You're not a fucking baby. You're a big kid.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you're a big kid, so you have to fight at that weight because you're big. Stop making excuses for people. So when I say empathy, empathy is a fine line of making an excuse. Do you
Yeah.
want me to feel bad for you because your car wouldn't start today? Nah, man, we all got fucking problems. Here's what I feel good about. You're alive today. So shut up. Do you know how many people today is their last day? While you and I are talking for the last these last couple minutes, how many folks have died?
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of them are because of their own stupid ass decisions. You want me to feel bad because you won't put the fork down? Nah,
Yep.
man. Like I love my brother. I love my brother more than I love anybody in this world. And I don't empathize for the fact that he's dead. I miss him terribly. But man, he made the choice to keep shoveling shit in his mouth because he was unhappy. And
Mm-hmm.
he ate himself to a point where he died. Don't ask me to empathize because you're fat. I was fat, 260 pounds, size 46 pants. Don't
Yep.
ask me to empathize because you eat too goddamn much. Don't tell me you have a problem with your glands. Don't tell me you have an issue with chocolate. You know, you just can't help yourself. Stop going to the fucking store. And don't tell me your kids are fat because they're fat on their own. They're fat because you're fucking buying their food. Stop
Yep.
buying them the food to make them fat.
Yeah.
Stop making excuses. That doesn't mean you have to be mean to not make excuses. And sometimes, homie, I get a reputation maybe for being a little rough. I'm not rough like that.
Oh, you're
I'm
you're fucking
honest.
truthful. You're honest. Yeah,
I'm
dude.
on and I'm gonna be honest with you about the shit I do, and I'll be honest with you about the shit that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I will tell you, like that's why we started laughing about Batista, because I can laugh at that shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm not my feelings aren't hurt because some dude beat me. He's not the first one, he won't be the last one to beat me. But by beating me on the mat, they didn't beat the man. They
No.
beat me on the mat. They didn't beat me. I'll still be showing up to try to whoop his ass because that's
Yep.
what you do. Stop making excuses. Just stop.
Yep.
The world is such a
Stop
great
playing
place when you
victim.
could see it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Exactly. Stop playing victim. Once you stop playing victim, you can see the world for what it is, and it's a fucking
Yeah,
beautiful
man.
place.
It is. It's as beautiful as you're gonna make it. Like, you
Yep.
know, we fail kids more than adults, man. We fail them. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so my big calling, like you had mentioned, passion for leading people or teaching people. My passion is for two things. One is for our veterans, right? So to make sure I'm there for the guys that need me to be there, right? So that's a big deal to me. And the other one is kids, like changing the dynamic of the way our kids are raised today, helping parents that really want the best for their kids, helping them to deliver that in a community, because they're not going to get that from our public education system, and they're
Yeah.
not going to get that from their neighbors anymore. So I'm going to stand behind our parents. I'm going to make sure these kids are showing respect to their parents. I'm going to make sure they understand the importance of doing homework, the importance of not giving up on themselves. I spent an entire class on Saturday making kids jump over freaking tie bags. Why? Because they were scared to fail. They were scared to jump over them because they're scared to fail. If you are scared to fail, you are going to fail every freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
Jump. Life lessons, not fight lessons. Like these are the life lessons that we impact others with. You're doing it in your personal training side. You
Yeah.
are doing that. These are life lessons you're giving people. It's not about the weights you're lifting. You're teaching them to believe in themselves, and you're teaching them to drive for their best. We think we go this far, but you have no idea your physical limitations because you've never pushed to them. You
Yep.
don't know what you're capable of until you seek greatness. So
Yeah.
there, I'm done. So you got your rattling out of me.
For real though, that was great, bro. I love it, man. I fucking love it. Fuck. Let's. I guess we gotta wrap it up. It's already
Yeah, man.
over an hour, man. What are some of your future plans with SAS?
I'm not sure where we're going to be. I'm watching us continue to grow. I love the family that we've built. I love the family of schools. You'll see our green location here in Beaver Creek, Ohio. You're going to see that thing double to triple in size while we keep that family atmosphere. You'll see Westchester, an expansion in our future for Westchester, and an expansion in our future for Lebanon. Those teams deserve bigger spaces and are going to need them to continue to grow. So you're going to watch us stay at home and really do good in these 3 locations for a while we continue to grow our affiliations across the country.
Hell yeah, bro. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
man.
That's exciting. How about your athletic career between you and Elena?
4 majors this year. This year we're going to be world champions.
Fuck yeah,
So
bro.
this will be the year for the world champions, and
Ah,
that's what our goal is, and that's what we're working towards.
hell yeah, bro. All right, man. Is there any shout outs or anything else you want to share before we cut it out?
No, I mean I've been watching what you're doing, which is why I agreed to come on. I
Appreciate
like. By the way, I like your videos. I think your presence on Instagram is pretty cool, so I always get on there. I try to like them. I might miss
that.
liking them sometimes, but I try to get on there all the time.
Yeah.
And
Every
look,
like and share helps, bro.
well,
That's
I really like what you're doing, and I like what you're about. And I brought you up a couple times to a couple of our folks here because I really like seeing what you're trying to do. So my shout out would be to you. That's why I came out here to hang out with you. Just keep doing you and keep driving and keep changing people's lives, man. Like the more people's lives you can touch, bro, the reason that you're here, there's got to be a reason you're here, right? There's got to
yeah.
be a reason that you show up every day.
That's
And
yeah.
I think your calling and watching what you're doing, I think your calling is to change other people's lives and make people believe in themselves, right? So don't stop that push. Keep driving for that and change people's lives one at a time. One at a time. That
Yeah.
changes the world. We change them one at a time.
I really appreciate that, bro. You have no
Yeah,
idea.
man.
It means a lot, man. All right,
Yeah,
brother.
man.
I'll let you go. I won't hold you anymore, but I look forward to fucking coming and training with your new location. That's for
I'll see you
sure.
soon.
All right, bro.
All
Love you,
right, bro.
man.
Thanks for having me. Bye, bro.
Yeah.